Hey everybody, Fran Burnell here with Accelerated Manufacturing Brokers. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of remaining current with machine tool technologies. So why is this important in the sale process and how does it affect value? So if a company seeking acquisition is looking at two different companies, say they're both fabricators, right? And one has machine tools that are, say, a decade old, and the owners have not made investment in this company. And the other has very modern machine tools. Perhaps they have added robotics to their press bakes and so forth. The company that has more modern equipment is going to sell at a higher price. Why? Because if a buyer has to, beyond the purchase price, invest in new equipment in order to either number one, maintain the sales that you have had, or number two, remain competitive, they're going to spend less for the acquisition of the company to reserve money for capital expenditure. It's that simple, right? And so, just to give you some real life examples of how this plays in. So I think of a few things. First, we sold a company out in the Midwest, and they were a CNC component manufacturer, primarily serving the large agriculture equipment market, right? They had done a fabulous job of maintaining and upgrading their equipment. They had added robotics. One of the things that the shareholders told me in that situation was that the addition of robotics was the best recruiting tool they ever had. Because young people would come in for an interview and they would walk them through the plant, and the young people were amazed, and it wasn't the picture of manufacturing that they had been told. And so it really is a good recruiting tool. The other example I'll give you is a fabrication company that we sold in the Northeast. They also had added robotics. The reason they did was a little bit different. Oh, probably should go back to the first one. So with the CNC component manufacturer, the reason they started to add robotics was because some of the jobs they were doing, the material that needed to be put into the CNC machine was incredibly heavy, and everybody hated that job. And so the worker that got stuck doing that job, the turnover for that position was huge, right? And so they solved for that problem through the acquisition and implementation of robotics. And the other beautiful thing about robotics is, you don't have a worker that needs to go out for a smoking break or go to the bathroom very often, or whatever else takes too long of a lunch break. It's a machine. It can work nonstop. And depending on the machine tool that you have, obviously it can work likely lights out as well. So the other company, the fabrication company, they began to add robotics because they were simply out of space. It was a capacity issue. And so they had looked at a new building. Moving with the equipment that they had would be incredibly expensive. And so they were like, okay, how else might we be able to solve for this? And they solved for it by modernizing their equipment. Number one, getting machine tools that were capable of doing more parts in less time, and then also adding robotics. It really makes a difference. You need to consider this. I just thought of one more story, and it's kind of a sad one, but years and years ago, I was called into a manufacturing plant to look at it, evaluate it for sale. And sadly, I had to tell this gentleman he really didn't have a company for sale. What he had was equipment that would likely have to be sold at auction. the equipment was ancient. It was like late 1980s vintage. And when I walked in, he had no workers left. Why? Because he had no work. And, he was saying to me, well, you know what? If a younger person comes in here, they could just more energy than me and they could make a ton of money with this equipment. No, they can't. No, they can't. Someone with the money to acquire him is going to want to acquire something that actually has cash flow and customers. There's kind of a law of substitution in mergers and acquisition work. If someone is considering buying a company, they're going to look at the cash flow that it produces, the potential of it as well. And then they're going to look at, if I put the same amount of money into something else, what am I getting? Am I getting more cash flow? Am I getting better employees? Am I getting better machine tools? Buyers look at at these things. And so you can't expect to have no customers and so forth and expect that anyone's going to want to buy you. Sorry, but it's not going to happen. So listen, I appreciate you joining today. We have many more episodes in this series. If you follow the links below, there will be a method for you to watch all of the prior episodes, and we hope that you take advantage of that. And I hope you join us again. Fran from Accelerated Manufacturing Brokers, Inc. We sell lower middle market manufacturing companies, and we do it nationally. Hey, have a great day, everybody.